1. In adult language instruction, which approach best integrates speaking and listening assessments to support learner autonomy in Duolingo test preparation? A. Grammar translation method. B. Direct instruction of vocabulary lists. C. Task-based language teaching. D. Isolated pronunciation drills. 2. When designing a speaking module aligned with the Duolingo test, what is the most effective way to incorporate formative assessment? A. Final oral presentation. B. Peer-reviewed grammar quizzes. C. Real-time feedback during simulated speaking tasks. D. End-of-term listening comprehension test. 3. What is a key principle in adult learning that enhances listening skill development for Duolingo test candidates? A. Passive memorization of transcripts. B. Listening to native-level audio without supports. C. Using relevant, real-life audio scenarios. D. Avoiding visual aids to build auditory memory. 4. Which evaluation method is most appropriate for assessing adult learners' readiness for the Duolingo speaking and listening test? A. Written exams. B. Instructor-led oral interview. C. Audio-based situational judgment tests. D. Vocabulary multiple choice tests. 5. What element of curriculum design ensures equitable speaking practice opportunities for adult ESL learners? A. Silent reading sessions. B. Audio transcription assignments. C. Rotational speaking partners. D. Solo grammar workbooks. 6. In the context of Duolingo test preparation, which mentoring technique fosters learner confidence in oral expression? A. Group correction sessions. B. One-on-one motivational feedback. C. Automated pronunciation grading. D. Graded dictation practice. 7. How can an instructor best accommodate regulatory compliance in preparing learners for an online language proficiency test like Duolingo? A. Disregard data privacy protocols for remote classes. B. Avoid speaking tasks that involve learner identity. C. Use licensed digital tools with secure data handling. D. Share student results publicly to increase accountability. 8. What communication strategy improves adult learner engagement in listening exercises? A. Repeating audio clips without variation. B. Embedding comprehension questions during listening. C. Reading scripts aloud before audio. D. Providing only written summaries post-listening. 9. Which of the following is a valid assessment strategy for evaluating spontaneous speaking during Duolingo practice? A. Script memorization tasks. B. Reading aloud from textbooks. C. Role-play scenarios with prompts. D. Watching silent videos. 10. What is a core benefit of using authentic audio in listening test prep for adults? A. It decreases learner stress. B. It eliminates the need for grammar instruction. C. It reflects real-world language exposure. D. It is easier to assess comprehension. 11. How should speaking practice be structured to develop fluency for Duolingo test conditions? A. Focus only on isolated word articulation. B. Encourage memorized responses. C. Integrate timed, topic-based speech exercises. D. Use passive listening without speaking tasks. 12. What component is essential when evaluating listening comprehension under adult learning principles? A. Length of the audio. B. Relevance to learner context. C. Accent of the speaker. D. Audio recording quality. 13. How does peer feedback support speaking development in adult learners preparing for Duolingo? A. It highlights grammatical errors only. B. It fosters collaborative reflection and fluency improvement. C. It reduces instructor workload. D. It allows learners to avoid speaking tasks. 14. Which instructional strategy is most effective for developing both speaking and listening skills simultaneously? A. Watching dubbed movies. B. Listening to radio shows passively. C. Participating in structured debates. D. Reading grammar rules aloud. 15. What feedback method aligns with adult learning theory in speaking test preparation? A. Generic class-wide comments. B. Personalized, goal-oriented feedback. C. Automated feedback with no context. D. Feedback limited to word accuracy. 16. When creating a Duolingo test-focused curriculum, which feature ensures skill transfer to real testing scenarios? A. Frequent vocabulary drills. B. Repetitive grammar worksheets. C. Simulated test environment activities. D. Translation tasks. 17. What is the role of scaffolding in speaking skill development for adult learners? A. Avoids challenging learners. B. Provides step-by-step support toward fluency. C. Removes learner accountability. D. Focuses on silent study. 18. How should listening materials be selected for maximum relevance in adult learning? A. Based on test content and learner context. B. According to speaker's accent. C. From children's television programs. D. Limited to textbook recordings. 19. What principle guides adult learning in speaking assessment environments? A. Rote imitation. B. Instructor-led monologues. C. Meaningful communication experiences. D. Reading aloud silently. 20. Why is reflection a useful technique in adult speaking skill development? A. Helps learners memorize dialogues. B. Encourages fluency through grammar drills. C. Fosters metacognitive awareness of language use. D. Prioritizes silent comprehension. 21. Which approach promotes cultural relevance in listening practice for adults? A. Global news podcasts with local themes. B. Monolingual dictionary definitions. C. Subtitled fantasy films. D. Historical fiction audiobooks. 22. What aspect of adult learning most influences speaking fluency outcomes? A. Vocabulary memorization only. B. Motivation and life experience integration. C. Test anxiety. D. Native language literacy level. 23. In evaluating adult learner speech, what is a valid formative assessment method? A. Annual pronunciation check. B. Peer-to-peer dialogue recording with rubrics. C. Written language translation. D. Listening to music lyrics. 24. Which mentoring approach best encourages persistence in test preparation? A. Test-only feedback. B. Group competition-based rewards. C. Individual progress tracking with encouragement. D. Pre-recorded feedback templates. 25. What defines learner-centered listening instruction for Duolingo readiness? A. Relying solely on instructor lectures. B. Letting learners choose irrelevant materials. C. Tying audio content to personal or professional goals. D. Avoiding interactive listening tasks. 26. What instructional method encourages risk-taking in speaking for adult learners? A. Silent group activities. B. Reading aloud from the dictionary. C. Supportive error-tolerant discussion settings. D. Testing-only scenarios. 27. Which regulatory consideration must be met when recording learner speech in online sessions? A. Public sharing of recordings. B. Real-time social media posting. C. Explicit learner consent and data protection. D. Unlimited open access to recordings. 28. How can instructors align test preparation with real-world communication needs? A. Practice only with scripted language. B. Engage in mock professional conversations. C. Prioritize isolated grammar points. D. Avoid situational context. 29. What tool best supports adult learners' self-assessment and listening? A. Textbook answered keys. B. Generic self-rating scales. C. Audio playback with guided reflection questions. D. Peer comparison tables. 30. What evaluation technique provides detailed insight into speaking performance? A. Final score report. B. Rubric-based analysis of recorded tasks. C. Multiple choice vocabulary quizzes. D. Weekly word count tracking. 31. What feature of Duolingo's test makes real-time speaking fluency important? A. Unlimited response time. B. No need for vocabulary diversity. C. Spontaneous speaking prompts with time limits. D. Pre-written essays. 32. What classroom activity simulates Duolingo's integrated listening speaking tasks? A. Dictation and transcription. B. Responding to questions after watching a video. C. Copying sentences from a whiteboard. D. Reading comprehension tests. 33. What kind of feedback helps adult learners identify listening gaps? A. Binary right-wrong marks. B. Highlighting misunderstood context. C. Ignoring errors for fluency. D. Encouraging guessing. 34. How does curriculum differentiation support speaking development? A. Same lessons for all learners. B. One-size-fits-all test prep. C. Custom speaking goals per learner. D. Focus on test scores alone. 35. Which mentoring strategy helps reduce test anxiety in adult learners? A. Frequent surprise tests. B. Constructive oral performance reviews. C. Ignoring emotional concerns. D. Public critique of errors. 36. How should educators introduce automated feedback in speaking prep? A. Replace all human evaluation. B. Use it as supplemental to personalized mentoring. C. Focus only on pronunciation. D. Avoid it for adult learners. 37. How does learner autonomy impact listening proficiency? A. Discourages independent practice. B. Promotes passive learning. C. Encourages exploration of diverse audio materials. D. Forces learners into rigid activities. 38. What regulatory policy should guide the use of third-party test platforms? A. Instructor approval only. B. National Test Administration standards and privacy laws. C. Learner choice without review. D. Institutional disregard for platform policies. 39. How can group speaking tasks aid Duolingo test prep? A. Build fluency and teamwork. B. Distract learners from goals. C. Encourage uniform answers. D. Minimize speaking exposure. 40. Which learner-centered technique enhances auditory memory? A. Isolated listening drills. B. Transcribing audio while reading along. C. Practicing tongue twisters. D. Watching nonverbal videos. 41. What makes listening strategies effective for adult ESL learners? A. Native speaker exclusivity. B. Passive comprehension. C. Active prediction and note-taking. D. Memorizing audio scripts. 42. What is an effective way to adapt feedback for adult speaking learners? A. Copy-paste templates. B. Focus only on accent. C. Tie feedback to personal communication goals. D. Compare scores publicly. 43. What communication challenge is common in adult speaking prep? A. Overuse of visual aids. B. Fear of judgment in oral performance. C. Excessive silence during listening. D. Disinterest in vocabulary. Duolingo Speaking and Listening Test. The Duolingo Speaking and Listening Test is a key component of the Duolingo English test. Designed to assess a test taker's ability to understand spoken English and respond fluently and appropriately in real time. It evaluates essential communication skills through tasks such as listening to spoken prompts, identifying key information, summarizing speech, and producing spoken responses. The test features authentic, spontaneous language scenarios that mirror everyday conversations and academic contexts. It is adaptive, efficient, and entirely computer-based, making it accessible worldwide. Results provide a reliable measure of English proficiency for education, immigration, and employment purposes. Here are the top 5 beneficial uses of the sample exam. 1. University admissions. The Duolingo Speaking and Listening Test is widely accepted by universities and colleges as proof of English proficiency, especially for international students applying to programs where strong communication skills are essential. 2. Immigration and visa applications. Governments and visa authorities use the test to evaluate an applicant's ability to function in English-speaking environments, particularly where listening and speaking are critical to integration. 3. Professional certification and employment. Employers and licensing bodies rely on the test to ensure candidates can effectively communicate in English during interviews, meetings, and daily job tasks. 4. Language learning progress tracking. Educators and learners use the test to monitor improvements in speaking and listening, helping tailor instruction and study plans. 5. Remote testing accessibility. The test's online format allows individuals worldwide to take it from home, reducing geographic and economic barriers to language certification.